So it's been a while since we've talked about this pistol, but I had an issue with the angle of the neck on the hammer there, or on the caulk, and then the screw. So this is made in India. The lock is I believe an L&R. It's a large siler. I could be wrong on that, but I got it from Track of the Wolf, and it was one that had the big rectangle, so I could make this in any shape, because the Indians that make these, they make the lock so large, and of course none of those parts are replaceable with anything. So I felt to fix my problems, because I had issues with the tension or lack thereof with the spring, for the frizzen spring, the screw that held the frizzen on, just everything about that lock was screwy. And so I felt, since I only got the gun for like $350, I could justify spending, I think, close to $300 on this lock to make this gun correct. Thing is I had already drilled the touch hole, so it was very imperative that I got a lock large enough that when I placed it on here and located everything, I could locate it with the touch hole being in the exact same spot still. So you could see I had to redo some of the inletting here. It's not perfect. I'm still a beginner with this stuff, but the thing is this was a trade gun. I mean, we're talking like late 1700s, early 1800s trade gun to the Indians. So I don't think this is outside of, you know, the realm of possibility for fitting. Nor do I really care. I care about functionality. That's the deal. So I don't know what I did with the original parts. I used this little 1/4-inch wood chisel, which is very sharp, as well as that one, same deal. I can't remember what I did with the original parts anymore. I really wish I could show you them. But what I liked about this India-made gun, and I pointed this out before, is the attention to detail. Like, they have London stamped on the top of the brass barrel. They have all these kind of flowery designs, and then you'll see like kind of the engraving on here. I hope you guys can see that. As well as here, they kind of border everything on the brass. There's a nice little floral deal there. They had that kind of bordering around the outside of the lock piece, and then kind of outlining the hammer. And you go look at the originals, all that stuff to a certain degree is there. So I appreciated that. Now, when I got this, oh, and also they even had Ketlin stamped into like the face right there. I can't replicate that. I wish I could. I'm not that handy, and a man has to know his limitations. So maybe eventually someday I can find somebody who can help me stamp Ketlin into that, to bring this back to that level of accuracy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the frizzen off, you know, with the spring. I'm going to take the hammer off, and I'm going to, with a little die grinder on an angle, I'm going to use that to make that outlining. So I'll feel better about this. All right, so let's get to business here. So because I'm a poor guy, and I don't have a spring vise here, I'm just going to ever so slightly compress this spring I'd say that'll do, so I can get this apart. Back the screw out. We're going to set that aside. There we go. Keep that on like that, and then we'll take the caulk or the hammer off. Just kind of work it off of that square arbor. There we go. I had applied Barrel Brown, which I can't remember what brand. Maybe I'll show you sometime, but that is what I use to brown these parts. So I'm going to use, I know this is crazy, but I'm going to use Gorilla Tape. I'm just going to try it to make a border here of what I want to hit, so I can try this out. So what I'm going to be using to do this engraving is a Milwaukee die grinder, and I'll be using this straight bit. So observe what I'm going to do here. A straight line. It's too deep and different angle for what I'd like. Something about like that. Let's see, get the camera to adjust. Kind of like that. Okay. Straight off there a little bit. Oops. Not doing terrible. It'll look a whole lot better, I'll tell you this, once it's back and browned. That will not lie about. Okay, we're gonna go back to the tape method. All right, we're getting down here. So now probably what I'll do, since I bordered it and I screwed up a couple times, I'm gonna try to buff those out. Nothing special, but it's at least gonna look better when it's all done for living history's sake. All right, so we're gonna brown this. Yeah, all those scratch marks filled with that. And we'll go over here, and I hit this with a lens wipe to make sure there was no grease or oil on it. William, wait. Wait, I'm videoing. We'll apply that brown over every spot. Except for on that foot right there, because that is going to be gliding on the spring, which is out in the garage. All right, day 2. I had an issue around these screws with the browning. This is before not taking very well. So I stuck the wire brush on all this stuff and kind of, working backwards. I had to take some stuff off so I could get a better application of the barrel brown on there. So everything's coming out pretty good. Here's the hammer. Do one more application. I think we're almost in business here. Make sure you shake your bottle up. Get the hammer. That's pretty much it. You're just trying to cover all the spots that need some barrel brown. Now in this case, I'm trying to do around the outside of the pan and not in the pan itself. I don't know why. That's just my preference. Not that big of a deal. I'll let it dry. So I'm going to go ahead and put this spring back on. Now you can release the vice grips. This stuff's pretty forgiving, but I'm going to go ahead and put the hammer or the caulk back on, and I'll be able to monitor this as it rusts in and creates the patina. And then we can always just neutralize it with some water and baking soda and oil it down, so there's no worry about what I'm doing. Yeah, we got some clearance. We might actually need to no, it won't cover those. The screws are fine, how they protrude there. There we go. So here we are. I want to say about 3 weeks after I did all the previous things. And things have turned out pretty well. Check out the touch hole there. I bored it. I did a fair amount of research and came to the conclusion that, what was it? 16th of an inch is 0.062, and from what I was reading, 0.07 is about the largest that most people were comfortable with the touch hole. So the problem I was having is, you'll see where the touch hole lines up right here. I still think it's a hair high, but I'm not having any misfires anymore. And so the reason, whatever it was slightly under a 16th of an inch. So to bring the hole down, I just tried to angle the hole a little bit and enlarge it to a 16th. And I didn't have any problems in, I think I did like six shots in a row. So yeah. And it is not a large Siler lock. It is the Golden Age, whatever the one that was on the front of this video is what it is. And it's not a Ketland, because Ketlands were more rounded here. I don't really care. The fact I had to get that rectangular gunsmithing blank to be able to get this to fit in relation to where the touch hole was, that was already drilled, that was the important thing. When I was loading the gun the first time, the first time after I had done all that, broke the ramrod. Of course, this thing coming from India, I have no idea what kind of wood this is. And neither did I have any idea what kind of wood the ramrod was. I had oak dowels around, so I whittled this thing down to, I'm gonna say it's somewhere just under 1/4 of an inch, but to get it to fit. And the oak can kind of shatter a little bit, but it is strong. It's far better than what the original was. So we now have a functioning flintlock. I'll take it out and shoot it occasionally and show you. But see, there's London, there's some of the stamps, some of the engraving. I did all of this, as you've seen in the earlier video. And there's that stuff. I've seen, and you'll see in the pictures of the originals that I had, not the original, I don't have an original pistol, but I possess pictures of originals. There'd be an engraving deal around that. So I might have to work on that too, but either way, really neat gun. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.